Hey there, fellow brothers and sisters. Welcome to Irish Drifters Podcast, where every journey has a story. I'm John and I'll be your guide through uncharted paths and unforgettable moments. Let's hit the road together. Subscribe, and let's get drifting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here today. If you're new to my channel, my name is John. Before we start today's story, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out in future videos. Let's dive right in. Imagine waking up tomorrow and all the cash you've been using is no longer valid. You can't pay for groceries, or a taxi ride, or even a coffee. Would you be ready for a cashless world? Today, we're diving into one of the most important shifts happening around the globe. The rise of the cashless society. Let's explore what that means for us and whether the world is ready for a completely cashless future. I've lived in China for the last 5 years, and during that time I've seen firsthand how a cashless society operates. In fact, cash here is almost obsolete. Instead, everything is done through mobile apps, for example, WeChat and Alipay. Whether it's buying groceries, catching a taxi, or even grabbing a quick snack from a street vendor, it's all digital. At first, this was overwhelming for me. I was used to carrying cash everywhere. But here, it felt like I was living in the future. Mobile payments are not just convenient, they are mandatory. I remember the first time I went to buy something and I tried to pay with cash. I was eating at a restaurant with work colleagues, and after eating I wanted to pay. I had some short cash with me and I wanted to hand the bill to the vendor, but he looked at me and then he looked over at the QR code on the wall. And then my friend was like, "Oh, it's okay." He said, "I'll pay for it this time." And then he explained to me after that, that I would need to change some settings on my phone to be able to make payments with my WeChat app. And so yeah, I was very fortunate at that time. My friend covered the bill for me. But I was stuck. If he wasn't there, I would have been stuck. I didn't have WeChat Pay set up at this point, so I couldn't make the purchase. It was a small moment, but it hit me. I wasn't in my home country anymore. A major shift was happening in the financial systems, and I had to adapt quickly. As I started to dive into the cashless world, I realized how much it had permeated everyday life in China. Even the smallest transactions, buying a coffee, paying for a cab, or splitting the bill at dinner all required mobile payments. At first, I was frustrated by the learning curve. I had to get used to scanning the QR codes, linking my bank accounts, and using these apps daily. But as I spent more time navigating the system, I started noticing some big problems. For one, not everyone can access the mobile payments here in China on their platforms. In rural areas, some people are left behind because they don't have smartphones or bank accounts. And then there's the issue of privacy, right? Every purchase I make gets tracked, and I started to wonder who's seeing all of this data. Cyber security risks. What if my information gets hacked? Is my personal data secure in these digital transactions? But as I spent more time in this system, I began to realize that a cashless society isn't just about convenience. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about money, privacy, and even access. Suddenly, every purchase you make is tracked digitally. This raised a big concern for me: privacy. Where every transaction is tracked, what does that mean for our personal freedom? Is our spending behavior monitored? Can our data be used for purposes beyond just processing payments? Another thought that came to mind was, what happens to the people that don't have smartphones? Or are they tech savvy? Here in China, almost everyone is connected. But what about those who aren't? There are some positives to the system. For one, payments are super fast and convenient. I don't need to carry cash and worry about change. Whether I'm buying a snack or getting a cab, the transaction is seamless and instant. Another big benefit is the security aspect. Without physical cash, the risk of losing money to theft is drastically reduced. And honestly, it feels more hygienic to use a digital payment system, especially during times of health concern like the pandemic. But on the flip side, there's a loss of privacy. Every transaction is tracked, which feels a bit invasive at times. And there's also the issue of people being excluded. Those who don't have access to smartphones or bank accounts set up are left out of the system completely. After living in a cashless society for a while, I have come to accept the direction the world is moving. For me, the future of money seems to be digital, and we have to adapt to it. But we need to be mindful who gets left behind, and how our privacy is protected in this new system. My final thought, I believe a cashless society is coming a lot quicker than predicted. On some sites I've been checking online, but it needs to be inclusive. It has to work for everyone, no matter their age, income, or tech proficiency. The transition to cashless universally around the world is exciting, but we must make sure it's done in a way that's equitable and secure. The biggest lesson that I've learned is that the convenience of technology cannot come at the expense of fairness and security. As we move toward a cashless world, we must make sure that everyone can participate and that privacy is a top priority. Through my journey in a cashless society, I've realized that technology is a powerful tool, but it must be balanced with fairness, security, and inclusivity. The theme of this story is not just about the future of money, but about how we approach change in a way that benefits everyone. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you ready to live in a world without cash? Or are there too many risks involved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you thought this story was insightful, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content about money, technology, and society. Remember, the world is your garden. Get digging. See you in the next one.